Hello everyone, the Flying Canary here, back again with your championship forecast for the weekend of November the 7th and 8th. It's the final round before the third international break of the season, that magical fortnight when managers pretend it's all part of the plan. Players mysteriously tighten a hamstring and fan gets forced to watch England trying to pass sideways on purpose. The weather, a cold front of frustration, light drizzle of déjà vu, and one final storm of chaos before the football hits pause. Let's get cracking, or as VAR would call it, checking for clear and obvious enthusiasm. Friday night football, Watford versus Bristol City, Vicarage Road under the lights, the perfect pre-pressure cooker, Watford, a club that's changed more managers than Taylor Swift's set list, versus Bristol City, a side who love turning half chances into heart palpitations. It's the Hornets versus the Robins, wings everywhere, no flight plan in sight. Watford at home are like an overexcited firework display, noisy, unpredictable and occasionally banned in certain postcodes. Bristol travel well, but defending corners isn't exactly their strong suit. Prediction 2-1 Watford, one goal off a shin, one off the crossbar and one poor linesman questioning all his life decisions. Tonight's fictional sponsor, BuzzFeed Energy Drinks, gives you wings, then sacks you away. Saturday lunchtime kickoffs, starting with Blackburn Rovers at Derby County. Ewood Park, where optimism and damp seats meet again. Blackburn are talented but flaky. Derby are disciplined but occasionally allergic to fun. This feels like the kind of game that ends with both managers saying, "We take the positives." Prediction 1-1, two teams cancelling each other out like bad Wi-Fi. Match sponsor, Mild Disappointment Limited, covering the championship since 2004. Hull City versus Portsmouth. The MKM Stadium. Tigers versus Pompey, Roar versus Rauciousness. Hull have bite, Portsmouth have belief, and both have backlines that could star in a slapstick comedy. Expect chaos, corners, and at least one player claiming a goal that clearly came off his elbow. Prediction 2-2, end-to-end, energetic and impossible to explain. Fictional ref, Mr. P, Portside, sponsored by Seaside Storage, keeping your defence anchored. On to Millwall versus Preston North End. The Den, never quiet, never polite and never dull. Preston come to town like accountants at a rave. Efficient, awkward, slightly out of place. Millwall, meanwhile, are building a reputation as the league's most aggressive therapy session. Prediction 2-0 Millwall, pure muscle, zero manners. Match sponsor Industrial Strength Coffee. One sip, 2 yellow cards. Now on to the 3 p.m. kickoffs. Starting with Middlesbrough versus Birmingham City, Riverside Stadium where passion meets puddles. Boro have been on a charge lately and their fans believe, again. Birmingham, capable of brilliance or boredom sometimes within the same movie. Prediction 3-1, Middlesbrough, efficient, enthusiastic and slightly smug, sponsored by Teesside Tyres, inflating expectations since 1876. Now on to Norwich City versus Leicester City, Carrow Road, the Canary Fortress, with optional panic button. Leicester come to town flying high, polished and clinical, while Norwich, well, let's just say they've been creatively inconsistent. This could be a thriller, but as always, no prediction from me. You get to see that in the O'Grady Outlook, where I can safely lose my voice in private. Let's just say yellow feathers will fly and probably one stray fox. Matchday sponsor, Varflix, buffering for dramatic effects since 2019. Now, Sheffield United and Queen's Park Rangers at Bramall Lane, where tackles go to die and dreams go to limp off. The Blades at home are intense, proud and occasionally incandescent. QPR, they're either frustrate everyone or win by accident. Prediction 2-0 Sheffield United, 2 headers, one sigh of relief and one goalkeeper claiming the sun was in my eyes. Sponsored by Steel City Sandwiches, strong bread, weak fillings. Southampton versus Sheffield Wednesday, Saints versus Owls. It sounds like a Victorian folk tale, and it'll probably end like 1-2. Southampton at home are smooth. Wednesday are stubborn, unpredictable, and partial to last-minute drama. Prediction 3-1 Saints. Class over chaos. Match sponsor Coastal Calm Meditation, for fans trying to survive stoppage time. Stoke City versus Coventry City. The Bet365 Stadium, still the coldest place on earth outside your ex's heart. Coventry arrive with style and confidence. Stoke counter with elbows and existential dread. Prediction 1-1, functional, fierce and occasionally football, sponsored by Longthrow Logistics, delivering chaos since the Stone Age. Now on to Swansea City versus Ipswich Town. The Swansea.com stadium, still included for tax reasons. Swansea play triangles, Ipswich play turbo mode, and both play better than half the Premier League right now. This could be the pick of the weekend. Goals, flow and flapping, flags galore, prediction 2-3 Ipswich. Tractor Boys digging up another masterpiece. Match sponsor Snoopy's Broadband. Slow, but at least you'll see every replay twice. West Bromwich Albion versus Oxford United. The Hawthorns welcome the Academics. Scholar versus Albion, logic versus vibes. Oxford have been neat and clever. West Brom have been strong and occasionally confused. Prediction 1-1. Tactical chess with pawns made of panic. Sponsored by Think Tank Analytics, predicting draws since forever. Now on to Wrexham versus Charlton Athletic. The racecourse ground again. Hollywood versus Heritage. Wrexham's fairy tale has more sequels than the Fast and Furious franchise, and Charlton just want to spoil the end. Prediction 2-2. Entertainment guaranteed, defending optional, match sponsor Popcorn FC, bringing cinema to the terraces. And now for the forecast. Across England, the weekend outlook is simple. Cold air, hot takes, and one last blast of chaos before the international break. Expect rain in the north, fog in the Midlands, and full emotional meltdown online by Sunday evening. There's also a red warning in place for phrases like focus on the positives and plenty of games left. And for those wondering, no VAR isn't being trialled in the Championship next week. It's off to Marbella for a team-building retreat called Lines and Laughter. This weekend in football history, on November the 7th, 1993, Aston Villa beat Man United 3-1, prompting Alan Hansen's immortal words, "You can't win anything with kids." Spoiler, you can. On the 8th of November 1986, Gary Lineker scored a hat-trick for Barcelona, while the commentator accidentally called him Gary Linguine. And on the 7th of November 2000, David Beckham scored a 30-yard free kick against Greece, ensuring England qualified and Greece considered banning physics. History never lies, but it does exaggerate. And now for a referee appreciation moment. Let's take a moment for the officials. Still the only people brave enough to sprint 12 kilometres just to be booed in stereo. This week they'll battle mist, mayhem and managers pretending to be calm for television. To every ref out there, may your whistle stay sharp and your patience infinite. And if in doubt, just remember, when in doubt, point confidently in some direction. Sponsored by Hindsight, because everyone's an expert after the replay. And now for Mascot Madness. This week award goes to Stokey the Pottermus, spotted attempting a long throw with a plastic pumpkin. Runner-up Rex the Dragon, who accidentally scorched the corner flag trying to light his pre-match fire display. Mascots fearless, ridiculous, and proof that football remains the greatest pantomime on earth. And now for the Flying Canary travel tip. International break travel advice. Avoid airports with express in the name. They never are. Number 2, if you're heading to watch Ireland, pack tissues for both pride and pain. And if you're staying home, learn to enjoy silence. There's a lot of it when the Championship stops. Bonus tip, if your club's form has been frightening, use the break to reboot your emotional Wi-Fi. Delete, hope, reinstall faith. And there we have it, the final flurry before the flags fly and the fixtures freeze. From Watford's buzz to Wrexham's blockbuster, it's been pure Championship theatre. As we head into the break, remember no VAR, no problem, no logic, no worries, and no weekends off from dreaming big. If you've enjoyed the O'Grady forecast, hit like, share and subscribe, because even algorithms deserve a break. And if your club wants its own 4-minute O'Grady outlook, I'll bring the script, the sarcasm and the snacks. Travel safe, sing proud, and remember, hope isn't a strategy, but it's the perfect international language. Flying Canary out.